time series forecasting, and this is about car sales forecasting. And this is for UMUC Data 620 Assignment 9.1 for Spring 2016 uh, semester. And my name is Abel Zeleke. I'm currently working as tech lead for enterprise application integration in General Motors and here in Roswell, Georgia. And prior joining GM, I worked as a senior consultant for IBM for about 14 years. And about this, the data set I collected from um, various sources, mainly from uh, the US Bureau of Labor Statistics and from data.com. This is an actual data that's currently publicly available. And this regarding the time series forecasting, time series analysis is for data analysis when the outcome changes over time. When the outcome changes over time, you can create a time series analysis. And if there are for that, we need to have regular interval. And for this particular study, I used data from 2002 to 2015. Therefore, we have a good range of uh, sales here. And now for see during the summer seasons, you will see a peak value for new car sales, and during the winter months, we have noticed there is a drop in uh, new car sales demand. And what I've noticed here is uh, for new car sales, the economic factor plays a big role. And to prove that, what I've done is I looked at the data and draw a conclusion out of the data set I have, because there are other factors affect new car buying experience. There's functional factor, whether you need the car or not, and also there's psychological factor. This is where most of the advertisement and where the companies invest most of their uh, marketing effort. Here, if you look at it, the blue bar shows the new car sales, and the line graph shows uh, uh, the unemployment rate. Therefore, it's interesting to know that when there is low car sales, there is at that particular time during the recession during 2009 and 2010, there was high unemployment. Therefore, there is a direct correlation between low car sales and high unemployment. This is an interesting factor. And now for the next 5 years during the forecast, I noticed that it would, I think, if unemployment is low, I mean, we may see the same trend going forward. And other fact I want to see, other than unemployment, what else could affect new car sales? And one other thing I've noticed is effect of gasoline price on car price. When the gasoline price go down, and then you would see some change. But most of the gasoline price is more geopolitical dependent. Therefore, that may not be a big factor. Here, you would notice here high gasoline price, and the car sales was still increasing due to 2011-12 due to economic recovery. And now the next thing I want to see is, okay, if gasoline price is not deeply tied to the car sale price, what else could be a factor? I looked at employment earnings. What about employment earnings? This is also from Bureau of Labor Statistics. When employment earning was down during, if you recall, during 2008, 2009 recession, at that time, the when after the recession, when the economy recovers, the new car sales numbers also increase. That means that's directly tied to that. In the next 5 years also would show somewhat, we would see somewhat similar trends there. And also I looked at several factors. Let's see if you look at this graph from as a big picture, you would notice here somewhere in the middle here there is for GDP growth rate, there was low GDP during that time. If you notice here, the uh, employment earnings was low, so it was negative, and during that time there was low car sale. Whereas if you come to the right here, 2014-15, there is high GDP earnings, and during that time we had reasonable increase in car sales. And looking all those factors, I've noticed that, okay, what about, because this directly implies to my job security as well. Now, after this research, what I found out was one thing, that interesting thing I found out is how my job is also closely tied to the overall economic activity. Therefore, if during the recession there will be low car sales, and then that could directly affect the car manufacturer's bottom line. Therefore, with that sense, I want to see with the Pareto chart overall compared to other car manufacturers where my company GM stands. And then here I see that GM is from a percentage of total running sum of this particular graph is for February 2006 sales data. This is compiled from Edmunds.com, and based on that, GM is fares about 18% of overall car sales. Uh, is the GM, and overall GM, Ford, and Toyota make up most of the 20% sale. And here on the right side, you see a graph showing GM has overall it leads the car manufacturers in sale. And the source for this is Edmunds.com. And I used Bureau of Labor Statistics data from also from open data source and from Edmunds.com. And these are my references. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you.